Hey guys, this is Attorney Walter Knott with Disability Resolution PA. Let's get right to the video. I don't want to spend a lot of time going to this or that. I want to get right to it because there's a lot of misleading stuff currently going on YouTube when it comes to this $2,000 stimulus increase. Let's talk about it real quick. Specifically, an article from www.the-sun.com. Let's see, Chris Bradford, 3:18 Eastern Time, November 18th, 2021, updated. Let's see, 2:12 p.m. Let's go right into it, guys. Here we go. No thanks were given for the 2000 Thanksgiving stimulus check demands as they mount as inflation surges for the cost of holiday meals. Let's go into this. What they're saying is people are upset. They're not happy. Food is going way up. Consumer price index is skyrocketing right now. We have a problem where people can't afford the basic necessities, are retired, are disabled, especially can't afford it because they are the definition of on a budget. And as a result of that, people are expecting a $2,000 payment, some sort of stimulus benefit, a check, if you will, which has not been passed. Let's go into it. Here we go. Cash-strapped Americans are calling for a $2,000 Thanksgiving stimulus check to be introduced. Inflation has massively increased the cost of a holiday meal. Families look set to feel the pinch as the price of a frozen turkey is up 20% compared to last year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics data. 20%, guys, not 5.9% like they were all hoping with that COLA increase. Oh, no, 20% increase. Here we go. Experts at the American Farm Bureau Federation say a feast for 10 people with turkey and all. The trimmings will cost $53.31 compared to $46.90 last November. Twitter users are urging Joe Biden to introduce another round of stimulus cash as inflation fears mount. Okay, one person said Thanksgiving will cost $6 more, yet you've gotten $2,000 more in stimulus checks since last November, plus $400 per child and extra CTC above what was already in place. Another quipped, by the looks of inflation, Americans are going to need a stimulus check to buy a Thanksgiving turkey. A third Twitter user commented, POTUS give Americans something to be thankful for. Thanksgiving fourth stimulus check, an option. Republicans have accused Democrats of failing to work on a bipartisan basis to address the supply chain crisis that has crippled the nation. The GOP aide told Fox News Wednesday there's no turkey on the table, no heat in the oven, and the people can't afford gas to drive to see family, which for most disabled individuals, a lot of them don't have cars, let alone gas. All right, let's go through this. So let's see. With massive inflation and a supply chain crisis that won't quit, Joe Biden won't be getting any thanks from American families this Thanksgiving. GOP aides fear that Americans will feel the pinch when they come to buy their favorite Thanksgiving foods this year. Around 3 in 4 shoppers, 3 in 4, are expected to change their grocery shopping behavior due to rising prices, according to KPMG's survey. More than 3 in 10 say that they plan to buy products ahead of the holiday season, and 28% admit they are likely to spend more time hunting for bargains, according to the research cited by Quartz. Prices in October, we're November, increased at their fastest pace since 1990, up 6.2% compared to last year. And real average weekly earnings have dipped by 1.4% over the last 12 months, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Kurt Covington of AG America Lending told Bloomberg that an average American meal could be up to 15% higher than last year. Calls for extra cash come just days after the 5th installment of the advanced child tax credit payments were sent to families. So apparently, if you have kids, you will have a nice Thanksgiving-ish. Stimulus checks worth up to $300 per child were sent to parents on November 15th, and payments should arrive within days if they're not arriving already. The first advanced tax credit payment was sent out in July, and there are 6 checks in total. Families will receive up to $1,800 per child before the end of the year, before the remaining amount is claimed when tax returns are filed next April. Let's talk about this cash boost real quick. For children between the ages of 6 and 17, $1,500 will be distributed in 6 monthly payments of $250. Your child's eligibility depends on their age on December 31st, 2021. So a 5-year-old child turning 6 in 2021 will qualify for a maximum of $250 per month. Dependents that are 18 years old can qualify for $500 each, and dependents between the age of 19 and 24 might qualify if they're in college full-time. Families can either use, and I like how they did that there, where they extended it to 24, because a lot of people don't graduate, within the standard 2-year, 3-year, 4-year degree, etc. So I like how they kind of push that out a little bit. And 500,000 residents in Maine will be receiving a stimulus check worth $285 in the next few weeks after a bipartisan bill was passed. Yay, people from Maine. Governor Janet Mills hopes the payment will help Maine families to some small degree during the holiday season as we work to fully recover our economy. It depends on a person's income and work history if they qualify for the check. To receive the cash, a person must have worked through 2020 and have submitted a tax return. Mills described the payments as how that's interesting. So if you didn't work in 2020 and you're really out of luck, you ain't getting one. Okay. To receive the cash, a person must have worked through 2020. Mills described the payment as hazard pay to help those who worked throughout the COVID pandemic. It's an interesting way to do it. I have another theory, guys. I have a theory about how this all works. Stick with me on this. My theory is this. There's a long con going on. What's a long con? It's where somebody cons somebody else over a long period of time out of money, resources, benefits, whatever. I feel at this point, from what I'm seeing, how do you share your cigarette? I feel like at this point, what I'm seeing is essentially how do you end is a long con. There are some politicians who have been in this government, and let's call it like it is. They are the royalty of our government for decades upon decades upon decades. And these individuals are what caused me to have crippling student debt. These are the individuals that caused many retired people and many disabled people to live in a vow of poverty with crippling inability to go ahead and basically have the benefits or monthly amounts that they need on a monthly basis to survive. Who are people that have been in the government for this long? Who are people that have essentially conned the American people by spending massive amounts on illegal immigrants, foreign countries, foreign aid, lots of things, military wars that we didn't necessarily need to go and do all the things we did? I think what we're starting to see is what I consider the long con. It is essentially how they have enslaved us to need them, right? We need them. We need them. Oh, why do we need them? We need our $2,000 Thanksgiving stimulus, which other YouTube channels are like, it's past, it's coming, here we go. And it's total BS. But yet we look to them because those YouTube channels are the extension of a glass half full with the political leaders that we have. Think about this for a moment. Just think about this for a moment. Would we need the politicians like we do if people had double for their disability and retirement benefits coming in? We wouldn't. We wouldn't be looking to them to keep us alive, to keep the power on. The turkey's coming. We would not look to them. This is the long con. This is the truly epic, measured in centuries long con of the American government. What they've done is they've made people actually watch crap YouTube channels in desperation. The ones that say, it's coming, it's passed, the bill, oh, the House is ready to make it. They're feeding off of these politicians, and people buy into it because they're desperate. And desperation breeds people to lose their freedoms. It's interesting. Do you think people way back in the day, Americans far before anyone in my family moved here, that were in wagons crossing the great territories before there were states, you think they looked to the politicians for fixes? No. And they had far less than we do. So then what's the difference between them and us? Well, they've trained us. The politicians have trained us to need them. That is essentially why we beg for them to help us. Oh, our saviors have come with their small stimulus check. My God. But for having them there to save us, we would have never made it across that difficult time in our life. GXY, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're actually at the top of my list for people to call that are not clients. So don't think I haven't forgot about you. You're at the top of my list. I just had to get through Monday. And Monday, there's always a zillion phone calls. And I haven't even gotten back to all of them yet, but I will early tomorrow morning. GXY, guys, just so you go, GXY has been a major donator. I just want to put it out there because it's not cheap to do the things I'm doing. I'm setting up the website for Peg. Thank you. 112. It's $10. I really, really appreciate it. Let me read what was put there. So I'm SSD and SSI. I'm not able to work. Does this mean I cannot get this benefit? I have a mortgage payment and all of my expenses are getting higher. I'm afraid of losing my home. So this $2,000 stimulus for Thanksgiving has not been passed. It hasn't been passed. There are state-based benefits. There are child-based benefits, but there's no $2,000 magical turkey stimulus. What I've been up to is getting the law firm all back on track. It's a different law firm now. We got rid of a bunch of offices that we were going to. We've slimmed it down, and now we're refocusing our energy into a lot of online stuff for people who have the capacity to use their phones and text and email and fax, and also at the same time still going to offices for the homeless because they can't fax stuff, they can't email stuff, they don't even have the phones that can do the photo scan thing. So my point here is this. We are going to be setting up a nonprofit. I was just finishing the nonprofit stuff, refiling it because they rejected my initial filing for spaceconstitution.com. We're going to be setting it up for votetoprotectdisabled.org. They all become .orgs when they become 501c3s. And that particular group is going to be run by the disabled and the retired. And the only purpose of it, I mean, you could change it because I'm not going to lead it. I'll be of counsel on an executive level. If I see something going off track, I'll jump in, but I'm not going to lead it. I need you to understand this. We are going to create a group, a nonprofit, and all they do is tell people who to vote for that will help increase Social Security benefits. And it will also instruct them of how to go ahead and remove legally, through getting votes, changes, things like that, those individuals that are currently in who are not doing what they promised to do as politicians. A lot of these individuals can be pulled back from their seat. A lot of people don't realize that because we need them, right? My focus here is to put power back into the hands of people. If you've ever looked at your hands and said, what can I do with these? I'm going to show you. We're going to use my legal education. We're going to use your voting power. And we're going to change America. But it's going to be a change for Americans to succeed. It's going to be a change for our retired and our disabled to not live in extreme poverty. Think about that. The disabled, they work their whole life, and now they're stuck. Are disabled. They get injured, they get hurt, and now they're stuck. I have a theory. That there was an overall arching theme and scheme to what happened with our politicians. That's why they hated that prior president so much, because he didn't follow the plan. He wasn't a politician. They hated him because he didn't fit into the design. But these guys, the ones who voted for me to have extreme student loans, these guys who made a cash cow system out of kids going to school, these guys who found ways, so many ways. I'm amazed at how they did it, to push people into this narrow work or starve lifestyle. My God. I wonder who came up with the plan, at least the initial one. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to make this video to make you understand. The next video I'm going to be doing specifically is on what Biden's plan for firearms will be going forward, specifically for the disabled. As I continue to see all this violence occurring, I feel really bad for the retired and the disabled. There should be no expectation that a retired person in any state should face a standard where they have to retreat from potential danger. How many 62-year-olds, let's give the most benefit of the doubt, how many 62-year-olds do you know that can run away from somebody that's younger, meaning to mug them? How many? I don't know many. There's a couple on YouTube. They're in better shape than me. How many disabled individuals, whether mentally or physically incapable, are going to be able to deal with a situation where they're being mugged in a traditional, relaxed fashion? Whatever the heck that is, right? I would like to see laws pass where all disabled people, VA, SSA, all retired people in every state have a standard of stand your ground, because they should never be forced to retreat because they are in a special class of individuals more incapable than others to get away from harm when it's coming towards them. And don't think they're not targeted. You better believe they are. Muggers don't run up to the healthy guy that's 6'7" that works out every day. Beefcake is not who they attack. They attack the ones that they know they can harm and run away. There's a lot of changes we could make. There's so many changes we could make. But anyways, guys, I want to update you on that. And then one of these days, I'm going to do a video specifically on self-defense. It'll involve things that you can have. And it's not just going to be a gun thing or a knife thing or whatever. It's going to be a video about all kinds of options. Now, the big thing before I forget is that over the next 2 weeks, and because I'm totally busy and I've been exhausted, I'm going to be releasing and finalizing the editing for the playlist for how to write a bill. You guys might love it. You might hate it, but I'm going to educate you on how to write law. Some of you will run with it. Some of you won't get it. It's just the way it is. Guys, have an absolutely wonderful night. I will catch you a little bit later. And thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.